to the Riff Pitch Lab 2025. And now a big applause. Yeah, thank you. Riff Pitch Lab is a development workshop made possible by the collaboration with European Commission and CNA, Cinema e Audiovisivo Liguria. So thank you for the support. And what is Riff Pitch Lab? It's a development workshop for documentaries in development stage, directed by European directors under 35-year-old, which is the mission of the Riff Festival. So we follow this kind of mission to give space to young directors. But what is a pitch? Have you ever heard about the elevator pitch? I tell you. You enter the elevator and a big CEO of a television enter at the same time. So you have 15 seconds to explain your project to this important person that you have never succeeded to meet, okay? 15 seconds. So what do you say? You have to choose the right words, the best way to present your project, because you want that he enters the project and put some money on it, okay? So this is what we have done in those lab. We helped, thanks to the mentors, 6 projects to define their documentary and to try to focus on what are the most important elements to put in the pitch, okay? So what will you see now? You will see the presentation, because a pitch is a presentation, a live presentation, made partly by a talking part, where the director and the producer of the project explain their project. But there is also a visual part. There are some images, and there is a trailer, a teaser, that show you what we are talking about. So this is what you will see. You will see 6 projects in progress that in the next year will be, hopefully, part of the RIF program here in Seste Levante. But they are now in a development stage, so they are trying to find funds, to find the involvement of broadcasters, of other decision makers that are fundamental to make those projects. You will see each of them talks about a specific argument that is very tough, difficult to tell in today's world. So we received a lot of submissions. It was hard to select 6 projects, 3 in the green and blue section and 3 in the open stories section. We also have 2 awards. One, both of them are of 5,000 euros. That to produce a film is very few, but in some cases is very important to give a push to development. So it's really very important, this kind of support. Unfortunately, due to a bureaucratic process related to European Commission, the Blue and Green Award will be awarded only in the final evening on Sunday. But the Open Series Award will be awarded this evening. Yeah, at the end of the pitch. So we present each project one after the other. At the end of one presentation, there will be few comments or questions by our mentors. And now it's time to present them. The mentors, I invite you on stage, please. I have to say that without them, this workshop would have been impossible. And they did a great job, really a great job. Because we started early in April with some online sessions. And then we continued in the last 3 days with the in-present session. So I present very briefly Roberto Pisoni, Sky Entertainment Channel Senior Director, Leonardo Godano, Groenlandia Production, Simone Risi, Director, and Al De Azpiazzo, Vice President of Fremantle. Thank you very much. So, it's time to start. And the first project that we will present is Todo Era Gris. I invite Yves and Maud on stage.
How does it work? Okay. Hello everyone, I'm Maud Pantier, producer.
And I'm Eve Lefesson-Cousonneau, director.
And we're gonna present you a documentary called Todo Era Gris.
Every summer, it's the same story on the Chilean coast. Sunbathing, ice cream, and ashes. Earth and fire are set on this precise region of Chile to make the path for deregulated real estate construction. And that's precisely what happened in the Cancan forest in December 2022, when the forest was almost entirely burned out to ashes by a criminal fire. I've been going to Chile for many years, and I was doing a field research for my PhD when I discovered the Cancan forest burned out a few months after the fire. And the devastation images I saw really struck me, and I think for the very first time, I had a concrete example under my eyes of my ecological anxiety. So I felt the need to do a movie about this place. This movie, Todo Era Gris, is a movie about the aftermath of the fire. Over the course of the season, we follow the story of the guardians, the inhabitants of the forest, who are here to care the forest, to do reforestation activity, and fight against real estate. For example, we meet Raul, which is the very first inhabitant of the forest and has built his house entirely out of rubbish. We also meet Marco, who is in charge of the legal proceeding, and Caro, a young woman who lived from handicraft out of the plants of the forest. And they all have a current challenge because they recently joined a regional organization to gather local initiative in order to have a bigger impact. So will they manage to make the Cancan a recognized protected area, or will the real estate build a new tower? The future of Cancan is uncertain. Deuxième clic.
El fuego avanzó por todo el monte, sí, se expandió muy rápido también cuando nosotras nos fuimos, así hubo como una ola de fuego que bajó así. ¿De dónde vienen tantas olas de fuego, cachai? Primero que nada, el fuego no empieza solo.
Sabemos que esos incendios son intensores, sabemos que responden a una lógica de la presión inmobiliaria, la mafia inmobiliaria. Eso no se va a detener, es difícil que se detenga.
Actuamos también dentro de ese colectivo, pero nuestro foco principal siempre ha sido el bosque. Porque nadie se preocupó, ¿cachai?, de que el bosque siguiera ardiendo. Nosotros desde ahí tomamos esa fuerza y decimos, oye, sí, pues mira lo que hay acá, cómo esto no se va a cuidar, cómo nosotros, como gente, no lo vamos a cuidar. Y desde esa propuesta de parque, la levantamos, la cuidamos y la seguimos firme hasta que la logremos. Esa es. Hay agua, hay laguén, hay medicina, hay un espacio para que mi hija crezca bien, pues, y eso se lo agradezco a este lugar. Hay muchas formas de luchar y estamos en nuestro derecho ancestral de luchar.
Thank you. This teaser was made during my scouting session I've done on the Cancan Forest over the past 2 years. And I've been lucky enough to work since the very beginning with a local Chilean team and my DOP, Cristina Dassa. And as you saw on the trailer, Todo Era Gris has a very specific, strong aesthetic choice to mix two different formats. On one hand, we have the digital images to have face-to-face interview, to follow the everyday activities of the Guardians. It's the time of the fight. And on the other hand, we use 16mm images to slow the rhythm of the film, enter the tempo of the forest, immerse the audience into this world. It's really important to me to show the beauty of this place in the forest. So I also choose to include experimental sequences out of detecting of phytograms, which consist in putting directly on the film plants. This very strong choice in unique aesthetic choice is my way as a director to tell the Cancan story.
Thank you, Yves, for all the details about our project. So for the production part, we are very happy to co-produce the film with Capicua Films, a Chilean company. We have so far already find financement for 30% of the budget. In France, we have been supported for the scouting, the writing, and the development, and in Chile for the production. So we begin first shoot last February. So we have now strong materials, and we want to begin the edit. The idea is to go back to the Cancan by the end of the year and to reshoot again and to complete the movie next year. We want to propose the film to Arte and to Tank, and in Chile to TVN and to Onda Media, because we think that the movie is struggling with global issues and ecological issues. We think that the movie can resonate internationally and have a beautiful visibility in major festivals like in IDFA or Réel in Europe and in South America or all around the world. And finally, as our impact strategy, we want to organize screenings with debates and workshops around phytograms with children and adults to have the possibility to discuss the movie with the public and to encourage reflection and action.
Thank you, Maud. Yes, those workshops are really important to increase the impact of the movie and to resonate in the audience, because I think many of us share this ecological anxiety, seeing our forests burning down in Chile, but also in Brazil, California, or closer here in Italy. I really want, with this movie, to put a highlight on the fight of the Guardian of the Cancan in order to raise awareness and maybe call the attention of institutions and Chilean government for them to finally take action. But mostly, I hope with Todo Era Gris to share with you and the audience the concern, but mostly the hope the Guardian gave us. Thank you.
Congratulations, brilliant, brilliant pitch. So let's go to the mentors. Roberto.
I'd like to add just an info. The first 3 stories are on the section blue and green. So
yes, sorry. Thank you, Roberto. Yeah,
the 3 stories on.
You're right.
So I think that the pitch was brilliant. The story is very strong, and I think that it's really original the way in which they try to mix a poetic approach, a very authorish approach, with a very important and actual theme. So congratulations.
Thank you, Roberto. And let's go to Simona.
Okay, thank you, Hev and Maud, for your great presentation. You have worked very well these days, demonstrating a great concentration and harmony between you. It's important. You have a strong motivation and a poetic visual approach that we appreciate, because your film is political but also human. Just kidding, I told you that it's a very French movie. And of course, it's a compliment. So I would like to ask you something about you. For example, when did you realize that you wanted to be a documentary filmmaker?
Thank you, Simona. Thank you. So a big applause to Maud and Eve. Thanks very much. Please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the question. And actually, it kind of makes sense with the project. I've been fascinated with cinema since very young, but I discovered documentary starting my university studies. I always really loved Spanish as a language, and we were studying dictatorship in the South America. And I saw Patricio Guzmán movie La Batalla de Chile, The Battle of Chile, which is a third-part historical documentary about dictatorship and La Unidad Popular in Chile in the 70s. And I was moved by an historical documentary about a country I didn't know at all. So it rose my attention, wanted to do those kind of movie too, to share political concerns.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Do I have to respond that? No.
Okay, great. Let's go to the next project, which is Adrift. Please, Alex and Johannes on stage.
Buonasera. My name is Johannes Olszewski. Thank you very much. And tonight we brought something with us. This is plastic, and it's the core of most surfboards today. And if you look very closely, these tiny particles here, Alex will open them, that's what it breaks down into it. And as a surfer, I felt very conflicted about that. 2 years ago, I read a reportage in the Surfer's Journal, and the pictures, they stayed with me. They made me think, and I don't know, there is something in this picture, and I think maybe it's a paradox, because nowadays, a lot of surfers like to ride on plastic boards, and they like to talk a lot about sustainability. And you could call that a drop in the ocean, but not far away from Bali's most famous surf spots, there's a tiny little island, and it's called Morotai. And they're actually the ones who are facing the consequences of climate change at first. Rising seas, ocean pollution, and also mass tourism. And yet, they also surf on wooden boards, and their way of living and their way of, their daily lives, it made me speechless. And Alex and I, we believe that these voices must be heard in the global ocean debate, because they face a crisis that they didn't cause. They stand at the front line of that, and they have they have the solution kind of in their hands. And I think that's very interesting. We believe, and we want to tell, a story in Morotai about multiple generations. For example, the great-grandfather of surfing, Helen, a community leader who fights for his island, for Morotai, and also including Natalie, who is a teenager and she wants to become a professional surfer. And we envision to tell also a contrast between the local communities in Morotai towards Bali. And it's just a short flight away, but it's a totally different world. And we want to contrast the Morotai's life with the conflicting scene in Bali. Well, I believe we've drifted maybe into double standards. Definitely, we drifted into a sea of plastic. And important to say, we are adrift, yet not lost. And Adrift is the name of our film. We would like to finish with your help. And now we would like to show you the teaser for Adrift. Thank you very much.
Jadi kalau papan seperti Iko Omba dari tahun 60 itu orang bawa Iko Omba dan pakai papan ini. dari tahun 60 kamari itu ombak sekarang ini sudah beda jauh.
Morotai terletak di ujung utara Indonesia. Menyangkut olahraga surfing yang berkembang di Morotai, itu bisa dibilang turun-temurun atau dari generasi ke generasi. Ketika anak-anak mulai belajar surfing, saya rasa mereka juga langsung bisa mengenal lebih jauh tentang alam, karena di mana
cuman ambil di kebun saja, terus bikin, kasih jadi papan, terus pakai.
Dari awal belajar surfing dari papa sampai sekarang juga papa masih ajar sama saya.
Kita tuh masih kecil jadi bermain itu di laut. Macam tuh kan penerus jo, jadi tempat setoro.
Berselancar ini pertama-tama yaitu bukan hanya kita asal berselancar, kita harus melihat tentang kebersihan, yaitu pantai, laut, karang.
papan kayu ini saya begitu tertarik, terutama dengan materialnya begitu. Material yang alami dan bisa didaur ulang dan tidak merugikan bagi lautan juga ataupun lingkungan sekitar.
Kalau saya menjadi laut, saya akan bilang, jangan hancurkan saya.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Alex. I'm a producer and I'm a director of photography. Let me first introduce you to the team behind Adrift. Gusti is our local co-director. He was born on the little island of Morotai. He has been following the local surf community for many years, on their wooden surfboards and in their everyday life. He understands the local language and the practices more than we could ever do, which helped us a lot to get the story much deeper and to expand the entire story we want to tell. Johannes and I, we have adventures deep in our roots. For Johannes, it is the world of slacklining, while for me, it was always the world of surfing. Last year, we went to Morotai for a first location scout. And the footage that we shot, that is all that you saw in the teaser. With that, we can already cover roughly a third of our documentary. But to tell the full story that we have in mind, we need to go there again and to shoot again. The full production costs will be 150,000 euros, but luckily we already funded 30,000. And for the gap, we are looking for the right partners and for a co-producer. Once it's finished, we want to bring it to film festivals, but also we want to organize community events to be able to show the wooden boards and to even test them with a surf community, and also to give the sustainable brand partners that we have, and we will gather the right platform. But our biggest goal is to find the right broadcaster to air this film. On a regional level, we think of platforms like Arte, and internationally, we also think of BBC and common streaming platforms. Before we go over to the Q&A session with you guys, I would love to hand over the word to Gusti.
Hello, Riveria International Film Festival. I'm Gusti, I'm local filmmaker, and I'm here right now with the kids.
Hello!
Thank you very much for everyone in this project, and also we hope and looking forward for the second part of this movie.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you very much for being open for a change.
Thank you. So let's go to the mentors. Al.
Congratulations. This was a really, really solid pitch. I love how you guys are blending your passion, sport, with something so important as conservation of the sea and the nature. You were mentioning yesterday that you have a window of opportunity to film, which is quite limited now in December and January in the coming months. So I really encourage you in the coming weeks to try to find a partnership in order to secure some financing so that you can carry on and go ahead and tell the rest of the story.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Roberto.
Congratulations. I think that you really find the right balance between a sport movie and an engaging movie about the environmental themes. So congrats. But which kind of audience do you have in mind for your movie, for your film?
So, sorry that I start with that one. So the surfing community, it's rising a lot. It's a growing sport. You can see it even at the Olympics nowadays. So for sure, everyone who surfs will be interested in this film. But with the topic of climate that actually touches every one of you and everyone out there in the world, I think it's a really right audience that could be interested in this piece.
Yes, I totally agree. I think everybody loves water, the beauty of water, the importance of water. And I would extend the surfing to all the people out there who share a fascination and a responsibility for our waters.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks. I have to say that for me and from the mentors that we have seen the previous versions of the pitch, it's great to see how those projects changed and improved during the day. So it's really wonderful. Let's go to the third project of the green and blue section, and the last one of this section, the Seaweed Revolution. Please, director Elizabeth and producer Jan.
When the explorer Magellan crossed the Pacific in 1520, he lost more than 80% of his crew. The same tragedy happened to about 2 million sailors between the 16th and 17th century. They all died because of scurvy, missing vitamin C in their nutrition. And the tragedy is that actually they were sailing right on top of what could have saved them all, sargassum seagrass. And looking at our parallel, what we're living today, the biggest challenge of humanity has ever faced, climate change. I'm just scared that basically looking at the narrative, we're actually facing something very similar. We have solutions right in front of us, but we're maybe too ignorant or we don't see them. I'm Jan Pachner. I'm the producer of this film, and I'm heading One Ocean Foundation, a non-profit foundation on ocean sustainability. And we are quite privileged, actually, because we have a network of very high influential ocean leaders. Now, we've met with Vincent Domicile, the author of this book, The Seaweed Revolution, in one of these occasions in New York. He's a UN ambassador on the ocean. And I was really fascinated right from the beginning on the importance that seaweed had in the past and also in the future of our humanity if we give it the chance. So I ran into Elizabeth just about a year ago, and I really thought we share the same passion about the future of our oceans, and I really think that we can move this together greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm an environmental advocate and storyteller, investigating regenerating nature, both on land and in the sea. When Jan gifted me this book. I was profoundly inspired by it, and I decided to dive deeper in the subject of seaweed and find out more about our ancestors and our origins. The leading voice of our film is the legendary oceanographer and explorer, Her Deepness, Dr. Sylvia Earle, impersonating Mother Nature herself. Our seaweed heroes are two African ladies from the East African coast, Fiora from Madagascar and Mo from Kenya. They're both leading the seaweed revolution in their communities, breaking patriarchal stereotypes. And I, as a woman myself, felt that I'm obliged to amplify female voice and showcase beautiful and meaningful female-led initiatives that are fundamentally changing the conversation. Meanwhile, showing solutions for combating climate change, combating poverty, combating hunger. Please enjoy our teaser.
Where did we come from? Who are we? Well, we should think of our long ago ancestors. The tiny little guys, the power plants, the green energizers that are generating oxygen, taking up carbon, developing the basic sugar that becomes those small organisms that ultimately wind up as tuna and whales and us. And we still have the best opportunity that we will ever have to reverse the decline of the living systems that make Earth habitable, land and sea.
Nafat bore goffa kanan wani dan bernyasa rai morpali. Arla nisi favoria milam masak miresa kisa eltela. Arla fambiasa tmandini chufar.
I can teach my son. That's something I can get from Mawimbi. I can provide myself with my son. I can dive. I can swim alone. What I can say, I only say thanks.
We have this power of knowing that leads to caring, that can lead to action, that can lead by the end of this century. We have to start right now to do what it takes to take care of the blue that makes our existence possible. Remember, no blue, no green.
Thank you. We are still at the very initial phase of this production, and that's our mission, to really get as many partners on board as possible. And we have found through our network co-producer that are really on nature impact stories, specialized. And from a broadcasting perspective, we're looking for broadcasting partners, distribution partners, financiers that could really help us to kick off this project. And we think we also took some inspiration by a film that is coming out now, the latest one from David Attenborough, Ocean, that obviously has a very similar and important theme. And he's working with important networks that obviously we would like to see as our partners as well. Now, thinking about the impact, we think that we chose Africa and African coastline on purpose because we really believe that this has a huge impact on the social, on environmental aspect as well. And in general, the seaweed revolution needs help to get going, and it can really change our futures. And so
our aim is to release the film on the World Seaweed Day. We both believe that compelling and inspiring documentaries and storytelling are a better and a fresh hope for tomorrow.
With this, we would like to leave you with a message of hope, but also a sense of urgency and call for action. We are the first generation that can really say we didn't know. We can't say we didn't know, but we are the first, also the last generation that can really make a change. And so with this, we really hope to find some partners out there that can get us on this important mission. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, Leonardo.
Great job, guys. It's a miracle. Yesterday, the teaser wasn't ready. Great job. I like this project. I like the title. I would like to read the book. I mean, there is a lot of interesting about this. When I saw this project, I was thinking, why in Italy we are not ready for this kind of project? No, you know what I mean? It's too big, maybe. We have to do something. So thank you for this kind of project.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I second Leonardo. I think the definitive version of the trailer that you just showed us is really stunning. So well done. I think this is a story that really deserves to be told. It is really important. So I can only encourage you to pursue on finding a broadcaster, finding a commissioner who trusts you. And once you have anchored that, then obviously let's talk. You know, you'll probably need a distributor.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much for the encouragement. We know it's a big task. It's a big topic, but thanks very much.
It is extremely topical, so I'm sure you'll find it. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to say that there is a lot of things that you don't know that happens in the background on the Riff Pitch Lab. So I met, for example, yesterday, Maud and Eve working in Sesti Levante and rehearsing their project. I said hello, they didn't see me at all. Some of the guys passed the night changing the trailer, and even someone was waiting for the trailer to arrive at the last minute. So there is a lot of work behind this presentation. Let's go on. Now we enter in the open stories section, and the first project is Salvatierra. Please, Alice and Gabriele, come on stage to present your project.
Good evening. I'm Alice Drago, and I am the producer of Salvatierra. 10 years ago, I was a teacher in a film school here in Italy. And there I met a fantastic artistic duo, two students, a writer coming from Mexico, Santiago Rafael Priego, and a director coming from Italy, Gabriele Licchelli. Already there, I was struck by the gaze that Gabriele had to show Santiago's stories. But especially, I was struck by their artistic relationship, so unique. That's why I was very happy to rejoin them on Salvatierra with my production company, Epica Film.
A few years ago, while chatting with Santiago, we found ourselves discussing The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway. And we were both fascinated by that literary word. And one aspect in particular stood out to us. The old man sees the shark fisherman of his town as young and reckless, Compared to him, they seem to live in abundance because they can afford motorboats and radios. They were interesting to us because somehow they represent modernity. And so we wonder ourselves how those characters would look like in Mexico today after the growth of global market, the intensification of tourism, and drug wars. We thought that shark fishing and sharks themselves could be a way to explore a world where violence is present and its forces are cyclical and hard to overcome.
I don't know how you imagine a shark. For me, it was this imposing, elegant animal that swims in the sea without even blinking, with the sole purpose of killing. However, seeing how they are killed by these cruel fishermen in a fight, you realize that reality is not that simple. You realize that one could be both a predator and a prey. In Baja California Sur, in Mexico, there is a small beach called Punta Lobos, where the desert meets the sea. From that beach, a community of shark fishermen sails out every day, facing the sea and its hardship. They are part of the same family, and they are called Salvatierra. They form a very tight community based on loyalty and brotherhood. However, substance abuse and domestic violence define a lot of these relationships. That's why Angel Salvatierra is trying to find a new path in life, a path away from Punta Lobos.
Mi papá fue pescador siempre y pues a mi carnal ahí fue donde conoció la playa por parte de él y yo la conocí por parte de mi carnal. El sistema de vida que siempre se nos dio fue de golpe, siempre. Mi papá era una persona muy agresiva con mi mamá. Yo crecí con esa ideología, esa vida le di a la mamá de mis hijos, violencia. Yo de esa forma miraba la vida, todo era una ofensa para mí, que mis hijos siempre se fueron criando en que ahí viene el monstruo, ¿no? Hundidos en mi drogadicción, mi alcoholismo, mi libertinaje, no me di cuenta cómo crecieron. Ninguno sabe pescar.
Es una persona adulta, muy inteligente. Cuando ya lleguemos a viejito, ahí vamos a estar con el bastoncito, le digo, en las buenas y en las malas siempre. Es una persona que es malo, es un cabrón.
No soy un santo. No lo fui tampoco durante mucho tiempo, ¿no? Ahora yo no quiero llegar a la santificación ni nada, ¿no? Sé que me falta mucho por avanzar, pero estoy luchando en eso.
Angel is a complex man, full of contradiction, both victim and perpetrator of systemic violence. This film portrays his attempt to piece his life back together, his constant struggle against his loneliness and his desire to be part of the community and rebuild his relationship. With Laura, his partner, with whom he's trying to build a new home, with his children that have lost their trust in his recovery, with his old father that has now dementia and doesn't recognize him anymore, and finally with his brother and the shark fisherman community where he belongs to. Through an observational approach, we want to be intimate and attentive. We want this film to explore the boundaries, the gray area between being a prey and a predator, taking a position that never judge reality but embrace its complexity. At the end, a shark bites a bait because it cannot resist its own nature. On the other hand, Angel and the fisherman can choose not to follow their instinct, but not biting the hook of our vicious cycles is harder than it seems.
We are working on Salvatierra for 3 years now, and thanks to the research that Gabriele and Santiago have made there, we now have profound bond with these characters. 2 Mexican production companies have joined us, and we ensure some regional funds in Italy, France, and Mexico. So now we are in a late development stage, and we want to close our financial scheme. That's why we are here, basically. We are here for finding sales agents, distributors, broadcasters, but especially we are here to find partners that are ready to dive with us in a sea full of sharks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this beautiful pitch. Thanks a lot. Please, let's see what Simona thinks about this project.
Okay, thank you, Gabriele Alice. Salvatierra is a poetic and metaphorical film. I think you have very well in your mind how you want to tell this story using the observation method. But I want to ask you a question that I hate, and I know you hate it too, but it's very important. Why this is important to tell this story and why you are the right person to do it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough one. No, I think that at least for me, this story is deeply human, and we are living in a society where we are used to clear-cut reality in what is black and what is white. And I think that this story is very in this gray area that as artists and directors and filmmakers, we have to explore. I think that Angel's story and the story of his family and the whole community is very complex, and we have to embrace its complexity to understand well. Not only their story, but ours, because in the cycle of violence where we inherited something and we give back something to the next generation, there is something we can relate. I think it's a very human story, and as a human beings, we can relate with it.
Thanks.
And the second one, why I'm the right person? Well, I think it's because I prefer to ask questions rather than to answer them. So I think that being in a position of listening to the others is where I feel more comfortable. And with Angel and in that community, I think that there is a lot to learn and to understand.
Prego, Leonardo.
Just few words. I mean, your teaser is great. The shooting are already evocative. You did a fantastic work. I was just asking you the timing of this project. Are you going to shoot again? What are you going to do for production and post-production?
Well, now we are in a very delicate phase because we are trying to gather the right finance and the right money for the next trip that will happen hopefully in November 2025. We have a very small crew to ensure the bond that we have made there. But we want that they spend a lot of time with our characters, because observational approach of documentary requests time and presence, long presence. So we want to have a shooting session of 1 month and a half between October and November, and we are trying to finance this trip. And then we will have another trip in February, March, because in February, March, there is the shark fish period. They fish sharks in February and March, so we need to be there, again, for another long period, at least 1 month. And then we will proceed to a rough cut and see if we miss some storyline and if you need to reorganize another trip. We want to present the movie on the festival market, on the festivals between the late 2026, beginning of 2027 at the most.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gabriele and Alice. Wonderful. So they talked about observational approach, just what it is. It means that the director, instead of interacting or making interviews with the characters, try to record what happens in front of the camera. So it's very time consuming. It means that it's not so much intervention in what happens, even if actually just the presence of the filmmaker is always an intervention. But yeah, it's very time consuming. So let's go on with the last 2 projects. The next one is Steps of Domonkos. Please, Reka and Anna, come on stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. I'm Anna, the producer of the film, and Reka is the director. And we are here to present you an intimate documentary about a young man who wants somebody to want him.
Semmelyen vagyok kapcsolatban a bizonytalan, mint ezzel, hogy nők miért hátrálnak ki. Fogalmam nincs. Excuse me. You're the best dressed person today I've met.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really like your style. Do you have Instagram? No. Szerintem vagy barátja van, vagy leszbikus.
Tehát, hogy neked már szerintem, hogy van, hogy így mondom, de amúgy nőként a fogalmatok nincs, hogy mennyire éhínség van férfiként.
Szégyen az kéz energiaszexualitás, és a szégyenek az mind ilyen, ezek az ilyen legsérülékenyebb dolgaink.
Igen, hát a fétis az, szerintem az, abban az nincs szégyelni való.
Nincs.
Nincs. Csak ez nagyon nehéz, hogyha benne vagy, ez nagyon nehéz ezt elhinni, mert hogy az ember bestigmatizálja magát.
Így.
Bazd meg, ez is kiszakadt. Fasz ki van. Tudtam, bazd meg. Hát igen, ezt tudja az expresses minőség. Gec. Segítesz?
Shit gets real. Nem vagyok, hogy egy kínos ilyen nagynéni. It is common knowledge that many women struggle while reaching orgasm during sex. But what if the man has the same problem? Domonkos, our protagonist, is a chemist by profession. He lives in the big city of Budapest, and he spends his free time creating metallic devices to make music with. He's longing for intimacy and desperately wants to have a girlfriend. But his untreated severe ADHD, the patriarchal society of men with influencers like Andrew Tate, and his unhealthy family bonds led him to be in a paralyzed shame around his sexuality. But I can see that my camera has a positive effect on him, and he even dared to share, for the first time in his life with me, that he has a fetish for metallic things, especially rings. He has been stigmatizing himself because of this, but my empathy helps him to gradually accept himself. And eventually, we can see a frustrated, angry man gradually realize that he can be content even if he stays single. Domonkos is a very controversial character, but he inspires me because he dares to show his flaws and attempts to change. I am the only woman in his life who stays by his side because I can see the lonely boy behind his actions. As a queer woman, loneliness is also a familiar thing for me. I also struggle with attachment issues and a hidden sense of shame. But I can share my contrasting female perspective with Domonkos, and during the shooting process, a surprisingly trusting friendship has formed between us that is also visible on the screen. Just like this, I want this film to create bridges between lonely people and liberate them to discuss their intimacy barriers.
By portraying his quest back to himself and to genuine intimacy, we would like to show the amazingly colorful palette sex and relationships can be. If people with different desires can feel represented, seen, and without shame, the world can become a less violent place. For us, coming from Hungary, where Budapest Pride is banned in 2025, and the fight for female rights is going backwards, is extremely important. Reka has been shooting with Domonkos for the last 2 years. By now we have rich material that we are editing right now in order to see what's missing from our dramaturgical arc. We are aiming to premiere the film by 2027. Public funding right now in Hungary with controversial topics or with any topic that's not propaganda is not possible. So any kind of small contribution to our budget is really meaningful. We made our first step towards financing with our German co-production partner Arcanum Films, applying to Media's co-development fund. And I'm happy to answer more questions in the Q&A. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Great pitch. Please, Roberto.
Yeah, it was really a great pitch, and I think that your project is the more political, brave, and weird, but I think necessary of the project that we read and watched. And I'd like to ask you to Reka how your relationship with the male character will evolve in your story.
Well, ever since I first met him, actually building up the trust went by baby steps. But now I can see that we have a solid bond, and I think we reach final form, so we can share our own personal struggles with each other, which I would never have thought when I first met him. And then I think even after the shooting process, we will stay friends. So this gradual process is really visible in the film, where because of the first shooting days, you can see we were more distant, but then the trust gradually built up.
So yes, absolutely. I think it is, as you say, it's not easy in Hungary to get public funding or public help to get this documentary film produced. So I think obviously it's a great idea that you have a partner in Germany. I hope that will help you unlock some funding as well. I think it's great that you also made your homework in terms of festival strategies. Definitely a project where I can see it in festivals, particularly in queer festivals. So I can only encourage you to keep researching for those and to bring the project in order to bring it a lot of visibility, with the hope that hopefully things will change in Hungary and there will be more acceptance for the queer community. Congratulations on your project.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we are now at the last project of the Riff Pitch Lab. Luba is Love. Vladimir and Jana, please on stage.
Hello to everyone. My name is Vladimir Kochuryan. I am the director of Luba и Amore, Luba is Love, and this is Jana, our producer.
Hi.
Originally, I'm from Russia, but now I live in France after the war as a political refugee. I know Luba for many years. She is one of my closest friends. She's my family. First, I meet her as a drag queen and the icon of Russian's queer community. And my community, now erased, but Russia's government sanctions and repressions. She fled to Italy a few years ago and starting to work here as a sex worker. We are capturing her journey from Moscow gay bars, where she was adored, to neon bars of southern Italy, where she is struggling to survive. Please, next slide. She is moving across the cities in searching of work. She is Donna Di Locale, one of the women that works in hidden bars as a hostesses. Her job is to sell drinks for clients and sometimes to sell her body. She lives with girls in shared apartments, girls in the same condition as her from different countries from the globe. They rely on each other to navigate through this dangerous reality. But each of them has their own reason to be here in Italy. For Luba, it's her dream. She spends all her money to record a Italo disco album. It's her form of rebellion, her transformation to be an artist, to be a star. The film explores the gray zones of society's moral by form of radical and acid documentary musical. We're using a magical realism and socialism to show the hidden underneath of this dangerous and glittering world of sexual exploitation, that world that Luba tries to escape by using the power of art and her love to Italia. Now we will show you a teaser with some documentary observation, her digital archive, and musical episodes with lyrics wrote by her own.
Я поняла, что мне
уже в этой жизни терять нечего. И я вот поехала на Сицилию, потом я поехала, поработала в Неаполь. И в Неаполе я так немножко подготовилась к следующему шагу своей жизни. И я поехала в секс-тур. Это были 4 города. Это была Болонья, Пиза, Рим и Милан.
Что за гастроли?
Ну, вот такой эскорт-тур по городам. Ну, то есть, как бы я и так вообще как бы уже упала ниже некуда, как я это называю. Но и при этом я вывезла 500 евро.
Еще раз, за сколько?
За 2 недели. Primo giorno che sono arrivata era tutti in questa zona proprio brutti, che malati mentali, e che tipo che tutti mi dicevano: ma perché non torni nella Russia? Perché lì è fantastico, vieni lì, tu devi tornare lì, ma vai tu se ti piace così tanto la Russia. Poi tutti mi stavano toccano, ok, già qui, ok, io volevo uccidere loro. Diventerò una famosissima star e tutta l'Italia diventerà mia, la mia Italia.
Parlami dei tuoi confini, come ti senti oggi? Divini, hai fame? Ecco gli spuntini, possiamo giocare coi tuoi vicini. I miei confini non esistono più, perché li hai distrutti. Una stessa, la mia vita, la mia persona.
Thank you for your attention. My name is Jana Burjak. I'm the producer of Luba is Love with my French production company called Limitless. This film is a French-Italian co-production. We're at an advanced stage of development, yet this project has been entirely self-funded and auto-produced for now. We already filmed material in Catania and Napoli and are working with Roberto Gambarotta and from Rio Films, and with Rino Scarietta from Givago Film in Rome, as well as collaborating with local Italian musicians and artists, such as Miss Keta, who guide Luba in her musical career on and off screen. We've already applied to the Catapult Film Fund, and we're waiting for a reply from the Sicilian Film Commission. We're preparing to apply to the regional funds of Campania and Napoli, as well as the Ministry of Culture in Italy and the CNC in France. We're set to kickstart our production in August 2025, and it's very urgent for us to do so. This film is literally a question of survival for Luba. Her situation remains fragile and unpredictable, and her transformation into an artist, from a sex worker into an artist, is happening right now. It's happening right now. Thank you. So, with this pitch, we hope to meet regional partners, a broadcaster and VOD platforms here in Italy. Our budget is 200,000 euros. And we hope to release this film by the end of 2026 or early 2027. As part of our distribution strategy, we hope to premiere our film at festivals such as Cannes, Acide, Venice, Berlinale, Panorama, ITFA, Vision du Réel, followed by LGBTQ+ and human rights film festivals, and a theatrical art house release in cinemas across France and Italy. We would love to appear on platforms such as Tonk, Universiné, Nexo Plus, My Movies Italy, and Mubi. Pre-sales and sales to national TV channels such as Rai and Arte are also part of our strategy. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the Riviera Festival for this opportunity in bringing this film to life. And before we welcome your questions, I have a small surprise for you. Luba is here with us, and I'd like to welcome her on stage to say a few words.
Buonasera a tutti. Oh, scusa, sì, sono io. Questo film non parla solo di mio destino, di mia vita. Questo film parla di l'amore grande per l'Italia, il paese che è diventato la mia casa. Grazie mille per il vostro caloroso benvenuto. Grazie mille Riviera, vi amo. A presto.
Grazie.
Thank you, and we're ready for some questions because it's very questionable movie.
Thank you, Vladimir and Anna and Luba. I would like to thank Anna's Film Company, first of all, the Limitless, listen me, Anna, for its commitment to producing directors in exile for political reasons. And so thank you for this. Then Luba, it's not easy to make this film. You have to be very careful to balance the glitter with the deep drama of this story. I trust you because you are Luba's friend. You come from her country and you come from her queer circle. So I think you will be able to find the right way. But above all, I want Luba to become a full-time pop star. So if you want, because I like very much your song, it's wonderful. So if you want to add something about your project, about you or about Luba, please.
Thank you.
I have just one word. Of course, I understand it's look extra, it's look pop, it's look maybe too glamorous. But in my mind, the main reason I'm doing this film is try to deromanticize this topic and trying to bring some attention for this situation because it's not only about sex work, it's global phenomenon and everything is connected. And in my mind, we're going in the right direction. Grazie for you guys and for your support. It was very useful. It was very useful for us.
Thank you so much. So 6 beautiful different projects into different sections. This is what we prepared along some days of work, thanks to the great work of the mentors, but I know that we are waiting who is the winner. Unfortunately, we declared just the winner of the open stories section, and the reason I told you before, for a bureaucratic inconvenience. So here we are. I have to say that it's very, very difficult. It was very, very difficult for the judges, who are the mentors, to decide which project deserve the award, because all of them were very good and did a huge improvement along those days of work. But there is a winner, and the winner of the open stories section of the Riff Pitch Lab is Liuba is Love. A big applause. Yeah, I know you won't believe, but it was not prepared, the coming of Liuba. But here we are. Congratulations.
Come ti senti oggi? Divini.
Here is the prize.
Hai fame? Ecco.
Thank you. So, sorry.
Oh my God, Luba, take this. It's only because of you. Thank you, guys. I'm from very unique background. I'm from north of Russia. I'm half Asian, indigenous people of north, half Armenian. I born and raised in very magical realism ideology. And for me, everything have a mystical side. Maybe your support is another mystical side on our road. And I hope it will be a mystical journey for all of you as our future viewers, Italian people. It's for you. And last word, Luba.
Thank you so much for believing in us, in our story. We are super grateful for this opportunity. Grazie mille per tutto. Grazie.
Last few words. Hello, sorry. Last few words. I have to say that two things. First one, the other two projects, Steps of the Moncos and Salvatierra, we receive a letter of interest by Sky. So congratulations to them. And I want to read the motivation of the jury. A risky project about a complex character between drama and pop. A story of regeneration in which art becomes a tool of redemption from a life of exploitation. The unique and personal access of the director, who lives under condition of political asylum in France, make this production effort a courageous act of resistance and an opportunity for redemption for those forced in these difficult times to live on the margins. Thank you. Thank you to Riviera International Film Festival and to Vito Donghia for believing in the development of projects, to the mentors, to Commissione Europea, and to CNA, Cinema and Audiovisivo Liguria. And thanks to everybody, and especially to the technicians that really did a great job today. Thank you.
Per favore, grande applauso a Christian.
Grazie.
Anche delle foto a Christian. Senza microfono, Christian.
Sì, per tutti, insomma, ci vediamo, per tutti gli addetti ai lavori, ci vediamo all'Annunziata. We see at the Annunziata Terrace for the aperitivo offered by CNA. Thank you.